Hello guys, this is Avcorn. I actually want to talk about Lucretia. Um, Starting off, this chick represents a lot for Empire. She opens up a lot for me as an Empire player. So yeah, I'm kind of excited that this character even exists. I mean, I guess since we waited so long, we actually got a super top tier wizard. Finally, Empire has the wizard it's so been craving. But let's get down to some reality. Lucretia's best faction is not Empire, not by a long shot. In all aspects, Langrisser Reincarnation Tensei is her best faction. Um, it just provides her so much with so much more support. The faction buffs benefit her more in Langrisser Reincarnation Tensei, and Hilda's a better tank. Empire has Hilda, but Hilda actually is better in Langrisser Reincarnation Tensei since she's like the tank faction buffer. So that's just the truth. Uh, this wouldn't be a good guide if I didn't say that. I think Princess is kind of her worst faction because, um, simply put, there's guys that can do her job in that faction. A lot of them that you have built already. Empire is the faction that needs her the most. This faction desperately craves and wants Lucretia. So that's why I'm so excited about having her. But let's go with the talent first off. Let's just talk about this talent. The first part of the talent is extremely important. The higher the unit's HP is, the more damage dealt. Up to 18, 22, 26, and 30%. That means with single target and AoE, which is nuts. This first part actually makes her already super amazing. If she just had this one part of the talent, she'd be like an A tier unit, just based on this. Cause let's go to Lana, a comparison that I want to do. Her talent back in the day was super great. So whenever she entered combat, magic damage increased by 10, 15, 20, 30%. This actually affects soldiers as well. So her soldiers and her, whenever she does a single target attack, their damage increases 30% at 6 stars. Lucretia is actually based on HP, which is conditional. It is conditional. Because in PvP, your HP will not always be 100%. But look at her, look at 18, 22, 26, 30. That will actually go down a little bit. Excuse me. But when you look at Lana, it's 10, 15, 20, then 30. So the devs, when they designed her, they kept this in mind. So the percentages are a little higher on her damage dealt. So say she's lost like 2%, it'd be 28%, so on and so on. So that's not bad. And for the most part, most of the time when you're like launching the AoE, you're gonna be at full HP. And even if you're not, just the fact that you can increase your damage of your AoE is good enough. And single target is good enough. This is a really great piece of talent. Just that in itself is super good. At the start of battle, you summon a magic puppet next to yourself. This is why she's comparable to Gizroth, because she actually puts a summon on the field. But unlike Gizroth, she doesn't take up a slot on the skill in order to do it. You don't pay, like, when you go to her skills, you don't pay a skill point to do this. Imagine if Gizroth could just summon his construct without, like, actually using one of his skill slots to do that. You could have his 3C, you could have faction buff, and then you can have an attacking skill. Well, Lucretia doesn't have that problem. She just automatically summons her magic puppet at the start of battle, so you don't waste a turn doing it. So it's like Egbert. Uh, when you play Egbert in PvP, he's only good until he gets his summon out. So you drop his summon, you get teleport, you get an AoE attack, and then you have the passive where he's like deals fixed damage to himself. She's even better than that because he doesn't waste a skill slot to do that. Imagine if Egbert could just summon his summon without any turn penalty. He just automatically did it. This is what she gets, and that's what makes her stronger than Gizaroth and other summoners. She doesn't pay a turn to summon it. I think this is kind of broken. When there's a magic puppet, you blocks of this unit. Then she won't die taking a fatal hit. I think this is also busted. Because their DPS, like Lana, she can't revive. Like the newer DPSs, we're sitting there giving revive effects and whatnot. I don't like that because I think that's a little broken. I don't actually like this because imagine you kill this chick one time, she revives, and that may be with her set because no matter what she's getting damage increase. That may be all that she needs in order to like finish the battle. So this is not really, this is good, but it's not good for the meta. This makes the meta more toxic because if you're killing a high level DPS twice, you're gonna lose another unit because like the best way in order to deal with this is to wait for her to exhaust her turn, then kill her, then use another unit to kill her, so to speak. But if you kill her and she still has a turn on that phase of battle, then you know they're gonna like try to kamikaze suicide and get the most out of her if she's already lost a life. So, or like deal fixed damage to her. I really don't like this. I mean, it's good. It's really good, but you can see where the meta's going. That's not good. It's good, but it's not good. It's not good. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna spend some money. If I don't get her, I would definitely spend money to get this chick because she is so good for Empire. Now this even gets worse. The magic puppet inherits, Lucretia's max HP and the stats at the start of a turn. So the goal is to stat stack with this chick. Excuse me. You want to get as much HP. You want to get as much attack. You want to get as much defense on this chick as possible. So you want to stat stack her. So when her puppet comes on the field, it'll get all those stats. Kind of like Gizaroth. So I wouldn't be shocked if you see people with using full moon on her, so they can get like the stat increase, and they summon the puppet, and the puppet inherits those stat increase because the full moon stat buffs carry on to the summon. So that's one thought with this, that you can use full moon in order to do this. But I think people are going to go with clocks. I think people are going to go with clocks because she has some really great skills that work with clocks, but if you're just trying to deal damage, I think full moon is the way to go because you stat stack and you get more out of this, you get more out of that. But clocks is really good too. But until we really start playing around with this character, I don't know what to suggest when it comes to enchantments. But these three skills are kind of busted as well. Like Magic Beak and Passive. The summoner of this magic puppet gains unit range +2. Let's go back to Lana. So when entering combat, magic damage increases by 10, 15, 20, 30%. Range increases 1 when casting skills. Lucretia. This comes as a passive, but she gets a unit range +2. So this means she can do single target and AoE. basically like the two aspects of wizardry that like Empire so desperately craved. She does both at once. So I think later on we're gonna see more people with like a status condition or a buff condition and the more damage dealt, because this is generic. This is with AOE and with single target. So I think we're gonna see this more. And I think we're gonna see the uh, the extra life more, which is gonna make the meta a lot more toxic. But if they're doing it now, they'll do it later. Sorry about that. So I think the meta is going to get a lot more toxic from now on. We'll see. It looks like it's going to get a lot more toxic. Let's look at another reason why it's going to get more toxic. This little puppet can actually reduce the cooldown of all skills of the target by 1. That means any target, not just Lucretia. This is going to make it more toxic. This says to me that she's like a good support and DPS, which yeah, I think the meta's gonna get more toxic because of characters like this. Because like you can see her being paired with Ares and other characters, so you can actually play Rush with this new skill, Transpose, switch positions with the summoner and axe again. So like you actually put her in harm's way, you transpose, you get her back into safety, and you actually get to act again and attack. And you're gonna see with her other skills that this is gonna pair really nicely. So this is really good, but this is gonna make the meta a lot more toxic. I mean, yeah, this is going to make the meta a lot more toxic. So you need Licorice and Autocrato. I got Licorice, and all I need is Autocrato, and we can start unlocking her bonds. Excuse me. So let's look at her stats. I think a lot of people miss this, but you need to look at these stats. I'm glad that people like Air and Nitro actually discuss stats, because you need to look at a unit stats in order to understand their full functionality in battle. And I want to talk about the skill first. Look at her skill, 111 in Archbishop, which is a holy class. That's 111 skill. I want to look at Lana at max. Her skill is 94. At max, 94. Lucretia in her holy class gets 111 skill. That's really good skill to work with. Like if you really wanted to build crit builds, you actually can like build strong like magic attacking crit builds. I mean, it's not going to be like assassin crit, but you're going to see that she has skills that actually maximize this 111. So this 111 is important. The magic defense is 401 and 368. When you look at Lana, the comparison I'm making is 397. Lana always has an S stat in her magic defense. But I think this is negligible. That this isn't as bad as it seems, that she has less magic defense. Because I think, for the most part, 368 magic defense is really good. I mean, the defense is 247. And Lana actually has better defense in her modern class. But I also think this is a little bit negligible, because when we get to her HP, we'll see that this is really offset really well. So the 242 and the 261 is 247, 247. So I think she has better like defensive stats, like in her modern class, not even in Dark Princess. When we look at Ant, it's 568 in both. That is scary. Because at her max, at Dark Princess, is 547, and this is a holy class. Archbishop is holy, and she doesn't seem to be cucked by the stat penalty as much in her holy class, which is where you want to keep her. Honestly, if you want to use wizard because you don't want to like worry about Judge Talisman, I guess that's fine. But in my personal opinion, I think Archbishop is really good. I think this is her perfect class because you get the benefits of Holy class without the weaknesses. And I think this is another Axel toxic point. Um, the devs at first were really good about weakening Holy class so it doesn't really become overpowerful. But when you see Lord of Crimzo and Lord of Crimzo and the chick and the guy from Ronin Warrior collab, they get strong Holy classes, and that kind of scares me because Holy class doesn't really have a weakness. Like Holy class is strong versus Demon. Demon gets better stats than Holy, but now that doesn't seem to be the case because her Wizard class and her Holy class. Holy class gets 3,811 HP. In Martyr, she only gets 3,460. This HP is, I think when we look at it later on, it's going to be rank B because that's really high HP. I think this is kind of unfair. It really kind of is unfair. Like to have this base HP 3,811. That's crazy. That's really workable HP. That makes her really tanky if you get the right enchants. That makes her survivability a lot higher. So yeah, the meta's getting more toxic because that's kind of stupid. I mean, I complain about for Wrench's HP being low, but it's fair because her base int is so high for a healer. And Weiler having low HP, I think it's okay because of the way he functions in battle. But for a DPS to have this much HP and a revival effect, kind of a lot. There's no reason for no one, because she's good at PvE content from her base kit alone. She's good at PvE content, and she's even better at PvP. So this thing, I don't know. Yeah, let's keep going because I think the soldier bonus is fair for her to have low HP, low defense. The 40 magic defense is kind of whatever. Because if you look at where's her soldier bonuses? They don't even have her soldier bonuses. They're actually the same though. I can actually go to the game and show you. Let's go to the game. Lana. So her soldier bonus is actually the same. 40%, 40% of the magic defense and attack. So they're the same. And to be honest, you would really rather have more HP than magic defense if you wanted your soldiers to have stronger survivability. Yeah, so I think the soldier bonus is fair because she is so broken that if she had 40 HP and 40 attack, that would be kind of too much. Her awakening skill is kind of too much too. Yeah. Passive. After taking action, restore 20% HP to yourself and the magic puppet. Whatever. I mean, there is no reason for you not to summon this character. This is so busted. So after you take an action, unless you get cucked by Listel or somebody, or you get heal blocked, you're just going to restore HP to yourself and your puppet. So late game, she's actually good at late game if you carry this 3C, because like, say you and another opponent are the only 2 units on the battlefield, well, yeah, you actually can survive, and long enough for you to restore some HP, you can actually run some strategies and survive doing that. So that's really good. I mean, that's really good. This is broken. Attacks a single unit for 1.6 damage, which is a really good multiplier for a single target magic attack. When you look at Lana, 1.5. 1.5, and before battle, troops attack range increases by 1. Kinda whatever. After battles, heals 30% of damage as HP. Does additional damage to infantry, cavalry, flyers, and lancers. When we get through, you're gonna see she totally cucks this skill. Effective against holy units. So she's basically countering the meta that she is imposing, because as a holy unit she gets even better stats. So she basically says that this new broken holy unit meta I'm going to counter, since a lot of holy units are coming out with really great stats. So she's automatically cucking that. In fact, that is more important than does additional damage to infantry, cavalry, flyers, and lancers. I think this is more important because you're going to see that there's a lot of good holy units coming out. And it gets worse. Before battle, inflicts attack int minus 30, defense minus 30, magic defense minus 30, skill minus 30. Last 2 turns cannot be dispelled. That's insane. It's just before battle. This is before battle. This is before you engage, you drop their stats. This is almost a guaranteed one shot. This is almost a guaranteed one shot. This is stupid. I don't know what to say. Let's keep going. So she gets mage, her starting class, which is good. She gets mage class, summoner, then hermit. Then she gets holy class, bishop and archbishop. Wizard is actually a decent unit on her. Catapult is actually a decent unit as well. Bishop, I don't think it's good. I don't see the point of using Bishop unless you're trying to make a meat tank troop, because I mean, normal attack deal magic damage, heroes healing flex plus 15% when your HP is high, defense plus 30. I guess this is a self-sustained like troop. I guess that's what they're going for, like, because she's so weak versus physical damage that this might be a meat tank troop. Dark elf snipers, whatever. Catapult actually goes with her long range attack strategy. Hellfire archer is good for fixed damage. She gets sorceresses, which is really good. Dwarf adventurer, that's actually kind of interesting, because like she gets some great AoEs, and like if you want some line target attack, I guess that's okay, but I don't think that's her best troop. I think so far from what I see, sorceress is her best troop, and bishop, if you want to like use her in the AoE type strategy, like your AoE, you just toss out AoEs because you're not worried about dealing damage with single target. So bishop gets decent HP. Not great. It's not great, but it's not bad either. Like when you look at sorceresses, you get the same type of HP, but you don't get the physical defense, and your HP doesn't have to be as high, because with bishop, when you're above 80%, your defense is plus 30%, and that's for AoE attacks as well. And with your healing, this actually goes well with this passive. But then again, no, it won't. It won't work with the passive because it's a percentage, so it won't work with the passive. That sucks. That would have been cool if it did work with the passive. That would make this soldier a lot better. So in theory, this is her best soldier. Until we get further like research and testing, I think bishop is I think sorceress is her best troop. So let's go to mage. She gets Dark Reaper, which is disgusting, and we all know what Dark Reaper does. So I guess you can have some more sustain right here. Free Strike is for the Lancer meta. Yeah, of course she didn't get Lightning. She got the one single target spell that she needed. So she's pretty much gonna do like the rest of the glory casters, like Light of Genesis and that Taylor girl. So Lancer Landius is going to get roasted. Even with his new piece of equipment, he's going to get toasted. So he's done. He's toasted. Man, this is good. Spirit Contamination. Deals 0.3 LE damage to enemies within 4 blocks of self or within 4 blocks of magic puppets. So that goes with the again skill I was talking about. So when you use this transpose, this is a good skill to pair with transpose. Enemies are afflicted with cannot be healed and cannot be buffed. This is gay. Man, this is gay. This is like acid burns on steroids, so you can't be healed and buffed. So she drops 2 debuffs. And this is on a 3-turn cooldown, which isn't bad. That's not bad. Because you can drop this by 1 turn with your skill from your puppet. So that's really good. Cleanse is for steel mane wolves. Though we still see somebody who can run steel mane wolves like Juggler or Bernhardt, you carry this and you just like rip them apart, because this totally destroys steel mane wolves. Because steel mane wolves don't have great magic defense, so this kills steel mane wolves. Wow, she's getting all the good stuff. Every like useful spell for the meta right now she has. That's gay. Alright, Shadow Synergy. After actively dealing damage, the enemy gains Shadow Mark. When the magic puppet battles against enemies with Shadow Mark, then it will ignore guard and gain damage dealt plus 30% and damage taken minus 50. So this passive goes with her AoE set. So you hit people with an AoE, and your magic puppet goes in and picks off a target that's weakened. Since you can attack first with your AoE, you send your puppet in, and then you're probably picking up a kill. So you sacrifice your puppet and lose all your good skills. Who gives a crap? Who gives a crap? I mean, you lose magic beacon, magic post, and transpose. Who gives a crap? If you kill a Zarda or some other useful unit, who gives a crap? Who gives a crap? I mean, I heard that. I understand what Kong Win was saying, that oh, you don't want to lose your puppet, but it's gonna happen. I'd rather lose my puppet than my than her. I mean, she still is gonna get this talent, so she loses her revive effect. Who gives a crap? What if you die and come back? Then you can really sacrifice your puppet because you don't need this anymore. So this is a good strategy. This Spirit Contamination, which takes away healing, so there's no healing. And you use Shadow Synergy, and your puppet attacks. You get a free kill, and even if he's in danger and he dies, you still get damage taken, like minus 50%. So he may have some HP left. So this is a busted one cost. This one cost is busted. This like the Light of Genesis. You teleport Juggler on top of a guarded unit, then you attack again and kill a unit type deal. So this is how simple the strategy is. This basically is just like plug and play. Chaos Missile is trash. It's effective against holy units, and I guess that's okay, but it's trash. Black Hole is super good. So she gets Black Hole, she gets Cleanse, she gets Free Strike and Dark Reaper. So she gets all of Lana skills that are really good. Mass Attack is actually really good. So she can run a buffing set. And she gets Heaven Sanction, so you can run Heaven Sanction. You can move into like a group of units, run Heaven Sanction. Then you use Transpose, swap positions with the Summoner, and you attack with your puppet. And then you have your Shadow Synergy, and then you kill a unit. Or you do vice versa with Black Hole, and you kill a unit, and you have advantage already. That's insane. So she gets Heaven Sanction and Black Hole. So she's just basically the superior version of Lana. She doesn't get like magic defense break, which you don't need. You don't need that. It's better in PvE to have it, but not in PvP. You never use that skill with Lana, and you wouldn't use it with her. So let's look at our Heart Bond. When actively attacking and entering battle, unit damage taken minus 10%. That's good. That's good. But Archbishop is better. When your HP is 100, damage taken 10%. That is busted. So like sometimes if you really wanted to, you could just get initiated on, put yourself in harm's way because you're going to take 10% less damage. That's really good. That's really good. Hermit, when attacking entering battle, damage dealt plus 10%. That's kind of worthless. You don't want her to get hit. So when you're attacked, you don't want to get hit by this. So I don't think this is good. When unit HP is less than 80%, damage dealt plus 10%. That's not that great, but I guess it counteracts this this part of your talent. That when you lose HP, that your damage dealt decreases. So this somewhat counteracts it, but it's not as great. It's not that great, but I guess it's good enough. I guess it's good enough. Then again, I mean, her whole setup is already pre-planned. This character is gonna be so OP. It's ridiculous. The meta has gotten a lot more toxic, but for some reason I can't let it go, and that's why I kind of love this character. I like Autocrato as well. I think Autocrato is more you gotta like think about it in a more solid way, but she's all over the place. She can do so much. She brings so much to the table, and she's an Empire, so I'm so excited about this, and I am just so excited. That means Empire has a lot more lifespan than I thought it would have. I thought it was going to flame out and they were going to raise up another faction like Strategic Masters, but oh well. I went on too long. I'm so excited about this character, even though I'm kind of like scared of the meta. But anyways, if you like my content, the like, share, subscribe button, and I'll get back to you. Have a great day, and goodbye.